Have you ever just wondered what would it be like to explore your own body from the inside? I mean, to actually navigate its landscapes, see all the machinery up close, and fix problems right at the source? Well, that science fiction future, it's getting a whole lot closer than you might think. Today, we're going to dive into the absolutely incredible world of biohybrid microrobots, medicine's tiniest and maybe mightiest helpers.
I love this quote from Alex Lubsky's TED Talk. It really sets the stage for what we're talking about. We are right on the edge of a totally new kind of exploration. Not outer space, but inner space. And this isn't just about getting a better look inside the body. It's about being able to interact with it on a scale that was, until now, completely impossible.
You know, for decades, our best view of what's going on inside us has been from the outside in. X-rays, MRIs, all that stuff. They give us a map, which is great, but they can't really show you the terrain up close and personal. So what if we could send a scout inside? Let's take a look at the very first step on that fantastic voyage.
Okay, so meet Pillbot. This is a real, tangible first step in this whole revolution. It's about the size of a multivitamin. You swallow it, and get this. A doctor can then pilot it around your stomach using what looks like a video game controller, getting a live video feed the whole time. It's an incredible piece of engineering, and it means no more invasive endoscopy.
Pillbot is amazing, for sure, but it's still operating on a scale we can see. It explores an entire organ. The real paradigm shift, the thing that changes the entire game, happens when we shrink our technology down even further, like way, way further.
I mean, just imagine it. What if our tools were so small they could literally travel through your arteries? What if they could hunt down specific pathogens or deliver a tiny payload of medicine to a single cancerous cell, all while leaving its healthy neighbors completely untouched? Now that is the next frontier.
And what's so wild is that this futuristic idea has some really deep roots. We're talking all the way back in 1959. The brilliant physicist Richard Feynman basically planted the seed for all of this. He gave a famous lecture where he envisioned a day when we could, in his amazing words, swallow the surgeon.
So, to really wrap our heads around this, we need to talk about scale. We are officially entering the realm of nanorobotics. A nanorobot is a machine built on the scale of nanometers. And just to put that into perspective for you, a single human hair is about 80,000 nanometers wide. So yeah, we're talking about machines that are smaller than our own cells.
But as you can imagine, this incredible shrinking act comes with some pretty monumental challenges. I mean, it's one thing to imagine a tiny little robot. It's another thing entirely to actually build one that works.
Just think about it for a second. Where do you put the battery? What kind of motor can you build that's only a few molecules wide? How does it even move through something like blood, which to a machine that small is basically like swimming through molasses? For a long time, these questions seemed like complete deal breakers.
The big breakthrough came from this beautifully elegant idea. Why try to build everything from scratch when nature has already spent billions of years perfecting microscopic engines? And that's the key to the biohybrid microrobot. Scientists decided to combine living cells, like bacteria, with man-made components. It's a machine that literally uses the best of both worlds.
So how does this assembly line actually work? How do you merge living biology with cutting-edge technology to create one of these tiny, targeted medical devices? Let's break down the components.
All right, on the biological side, you can think of scientists as talent scouts for the microscopic world. They look at what different cells are already amazing at and then recruit them for the job. So you have bacteria like E. coli, which are fantastic little swimmers. They use those whip-like flagella as natural propellers. Then you've got algae, which can move all on its own, powered by light. And then there are our own mammalian cells, like immune cells, which are basically masters of camouflage, able to get around our bodies without setting off any alarms.
Then you've got the synthetic half. This is where we give our biological engine its mission. We can use polymers to build a little framework or a chassis. We can attach nanoparticles that act like tiny backpacks holding a payload of medicine. And, this is crucial, we can embed magnetic materials, which lets us steer the bot from outside the body. It's like installing a remote control system.
And this image just shows it all perfectly. You see that single E. coli bacterium? That's your engine. Attached to it is a nanoliposome. That's the little synthetic bubble carrying the drugs. And also attached is that magnetic nanoparticle. So you've got a self-propelled, drug-carrying vehicle that you can steer with magnets. Boom! You've just built a biohybrid microrobot.
Okay, so once these things are inside the body, how do we actually direct them? Well, there are two main ways being developed right now. The first, as we've seen, is magnetic control.
The other method, well, it's even more futuristic. Light control. Some algae are naturally drawn to light, so scientists can use a focused beam of light almost like a microscopic tractor beam, guiding the bot exactly to its destination.
And what's really cool here is that you can see both methods in action. On the left, there's a biohybrid made with algae that's been coated with magnetic particles, and you can see it's being pulled right along that specific path by a magnet. Then on the right, you've got another bot being guided purely by light, swimming towards that bright spot, which, you can imagine, is focused right on a tumor. And this is a powerful example of what this all means for medicine. What you're seeing here are biohybrid macrophages. Those are a type of immune cell from our own bodies. They've been loaded up with cancer-fighting drugs. And because they're immune cells, they already know how to find their way to tumors. They just travel through the bloodstream, deliver their payload directly to the cancerous cells, and that's it. This kind of targeted delivery could make treatment so much more effective while drastically reducing the awful side effects.
Now, as exciting and mind-blowing as all of this is, we're not quite at the stage of swallowing the surgeon just yet. Like any technology this revolutionary, there are some pretty significant hurdles that researchers are working really hard to overcome.
So what are the big roadblocks? Well, first, biocompatibility. How do you make sure the body doesn't just reject these tiny machines? Second, the immune response. How do you stop our own natural defenses from seeing these bots as invaders and destroying them? Third, toxicity. What happens after the mission is over? We have to make sure no harmful materials get left behind. And finally, scalability. How do you go from a cool lab experiment to manufacturing billions of these complex machines reliably and affordably?
But these challenges aren't stopping progress, not at all. In fact, they're driving the next big wave of innovation. Scientists are developing new biodegradable materials that just dissolve harmlessly after they're used. They're perfecting biocompatible coatings that create a sort of invisibility cloak to hide the microrobots from the immune system. Every single challenge is just a new frontier for research.
So we end right where we began, on a fantastic voyage. This technology is absolutely poised to transform medicine from a practice of systemic, often brute force treatments into one of ultra-precise cellular-level interventions. The journey is far from over, but it is leading to a future that is just incredible to imagine. A future where a prescription might not be for a pill, but for an army of tiny targeted robots.